pull it up on my.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Going to.
It's a weekend. On our coaching calls yesterday, people were excited that there was just one day left. Angie, that was you, I think. And now it's here. Friday is here.
Okay, make sure I turn my volume down. All right, I'm good.
We are good.
Seems like we were just here.
I know the days fly by. Absolutely fly by.
It's been so warm here, but today it's back to 30. Like yesterday was like 58, 58 degrees. And today it's 30 degrees and flurrying.
Oh, gross.
And then I think Sunday's supposed to be 51, 62 next week, and then 30. Like it's doing that, which I'm fine with. We can play this game because we're going that direction.
That's right.
We've had snow in April before. We've had snow in March and April before, so I'm not saying anything, but
My birthday is April 18th, and there's been several times where it has snowed on my birthday.
that's what it is. I had this post-it with that name on it when I asked you. And I'm like, what is April 18th? Because I didn't write the name.
Now you know that is my birthday. Everyone mark it in your calendars. Just kidding. Hey guys.
Happy Christmas.
Yep. Easy to remember.
Born but Jesus.
Hey Laura.
Okay, Lisa's birthday. Now I have it labeled. What the heck?
And look, how Leslie was saying it's like trending that way. That is just like our weight, isn't it? We talked with a lot of people this week on our weight fluctuations, and that is not what we're talking about today. But I'm just going to touch on that real quick because it can be frustrating when you jump on the scale and you're like, yes, I've been doing really good. I've really been eating well today, right? Or maybe for 2 days or whatever it is. And we get on the scale and we're like, oh my gosh, it went up. And we get frustrated and defeated, and then we go have a sleeve of Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies, right? That is not abnormal. It is normal for your weight to fluctuate, but we pay attention to the trends. So it'll go like this, but it'll ultimately be trending down. So
and with that said, I just had a conversation with my client with Kathy. We were talking about like, do you want to rescan yourself? Like, I have my scanner and stuff, and she's been you feel so good with that sense. Like you're feeling really good. You feel fit. You feel lean. You have energy. People are complimenting you. Don't do it. Like when we didn't scan, it's like, why would you do that? Because if anything says differently than how you feel and how you look and the compliments you're getting, you're going to be destroyed. And so it's like, we're like, yeah, no, we shouldn't do that. So it's just go up how you feel, how you look, what you're doing, because that's what counts, right? It's how we feel inside and the energy we have in that. So it's gonna do this. And then one day you step on, if it's up here, I'm telling you, the next day it could be down here, but it doesn't matter. You're already mentally blown.
And that's where we develop that mental strength too, of knowing the scale doesn't define me. No matter what that number says, I know I'm doing the right things. Or maybe we know we probably shouldn't have eaten the cheesesteak and fries 3 days in a row, right? Then we know, all right, if it went up, I had it coming, right? So we got to be honest with ourselves. But
I'm on a pretzel kick right now. These sourdough pretzels are getting me at night. Carbs at night. I gotta end it. I have to end it, but I'm not yet. I just had a pretzel right before I got on. Not done yet. I must need salt. I don't know what it is, but I'm addicted to these sourdough pretzels.
But don't box yourself in and say, I'm addicted to these. I have control over these pretzels. I don't need to eat those.
Right now, I really want them, and I'm eating, but I'm gonna stop.
And most of you guys can probably relate to that too, because we've all been there, right? But that is not what we're talking about today. Today, we are talking about something that you guys have probably seen or probably know about. And we are going to dive in a little bit deeper today. And that is talking about fitness trackers. So I actually, look, my fitness tracker is on my leg. I wear it on my ankle because I walk.
Yeah, me too, when I walk, but right now it's on my wrist.
I don't always wear it on my ankle. My husband's like, I hate going out with you like this because you look like you are on probation. Like you look like you have a health arrest.
I feel like that when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, I better take this off. They're gonna think I'm on house arrest or something. So I feel that way.
Yes, I do too. But we put it on our ankles sometimes because we set up treadmill desks. So when we're working on the computer for hours, we walk while we work, and we walk slow, but we're still moving. So that's why I have it on my ankle. But if you have a fitness tracker, if you're watching now, watching the replay, if you have a fitness tracker like a Fitbit or Apple Watch or any kind of tracker at all, comment below and let us know what you've got, and if you have one. So we want to know what everyone has, what everyone uses. But fitness trackers, they come in all different forms. You've got straps and watches and pedometers and ones that hook onto your waistband. You've got phones, necklaces, clips, all different kinds. Technology really is amazing. Like, it is amazing what we can track and how we can track them. But if you don't have one yet, or, and if you want to know your data, there's tons of options. So do some research. Think about what you want a tracker for. What data do you want, right? Do you want to track your steps or your sleep or your heart health, mileage, calories, whatever? And then you find one that best suits your needs. So we're going to dive in and talk about some of the benefits of using these trackers first.
So like Lisa just mentioned a bunch of different things. That's what we're going to talk about. So activity monitoring. Can't talk
Easy for
today.
you to say.
I know, right? So these devices are pretty good at tracking your physical activity like throughout the day. Your steps, like we said, you go to the grocery store, you go to your car, that it can tell you, oh, you walked 5 miles today or 3 miles today, how many stairs you've climbed, what was the elevation you reached, and then the active minutes that you had besides your sitting. So this is really good because it helps you understand you may exercise, but this is that extra activity. So it's going to give you an idea of how much extra stuff you do. So when you're in either a plateau, or when you think, gosh, I'm working out 3 days a week, but why am I not seeing results or whatever, you may look at that and say, I'm doing no other activity besides my workouts. This is going to be able to help you look at that and say, okay, you're doing low. So then the second thing is going to be what it can help you with is to set and track goals. So now that you see that you're not doing anything, it's like, okay, now I can set an actual reachable goal and one that you can track. So it has to be, trackable. So you can set, I'm going to do 10,000 steps. A lot of us do that. You can do, I'm going to do so many elevations, or how there she's showing hers. But having those clear goals of what you're going to do and then being able to track it so you can see the progress, it's going to like increases your motivation and your adherence to anything. And it gives you that consistency. Because I don't know if you're competitive like me and you see that you're at 5,000, you said you're getting 10,000. I'm like, crap, I told people I was getting 10,000 a day. I'm going to walk around circles in my house till I hit that goal. Or if that's my goal to get, 8,000. If you're normally doing 3,000 a day, start getting 5,000, then go up to 8,000, then just keep increasing. If you go from 3,000 a day to 10, and if that's too high for you to achieve, you got to figure out how you're going to get that in. It's going to demoralize you. And, so set those small little chunks of time and those small goals, win them, and then increase it.
And it does work too, because on Tuesday I told you guys, like, I can't work out right now and I'm going crazy, but I was like, you know what, I can walk. So I'm going to, because I was getting in the rut of, well, I can't work out. So I was still sitting at my computer or at my desk and doing my work instead of walking like I used to. So I said, you know what, I'm going to set a goal of walking 25 miles this week. Guys, I set that goal, and now every time, even if I don't feel like walking while I'm working, I'm like, no, I need to reach my goal. And I'm already at 35. 35. I exceeded my goal just because I'm like, I have to get this. So it really does help when you set those goals.
And then some other benefits, like Kathy just said too, that she has a Glory Fit watch that shows activity. She wanted this one for blood pressure. So yeah, heart rate monitoring. Some have blood pressure things. They have heart rate sensors, so you can watch how your heart rate is fluctuating throughout the day and throughout your workouts. And this can help you gauge the intensity of your workout. So if you're doing a workout and you're at like your heart rate staying in the 60s, you need to bust it up. If you're doing a cardio move, you need to get that heart rate working for you. So you can watch that variability. And it's also great to do heart rate zones for your cardiovascular health. And a lot of these watches are amazing because you could be sitting there and it'll warn you your heart rate just went up to 150. So people that are in like atrial fibrillation or something like that, or all of a sudden you're sitting there and your heart rate jumps up and you're like, whoa, you felt it. It's good data for a physician too. Like you can log. My son just had this issue and his watch was going off for no reason. And then he went in and had stuff checked because it can, alert you to things like that as well. And then sleep. Okay. Sleep and stress is so important. and we take it for granted. But these sleep trackers are amazing. Like it will tell you how much you were in REM, how much you were sleeping, how many times you woke up. Are they 100% accurate? Maybe not, but they give you data. All it is data, but it can help you understand your sleep patterns, especially if you're not getting good quality of sleep. And if you only sleep 3 hours, you're like, oh man, I really need to improve that. So that'll help you set up and then again, goals, sleep schedules, and what time you can go to bed. And then calorie tracking. So some fitness devices can give you how much calories you burned in the day. So you can understand that, because if you're burning 4,000 calories a day and then you're keeping track of your food and you're only getting 1,000 calories in, that's not a good mix there, right? Your metabolism needs to be fed and you need to fuel that activity. So it kind of helps you see where you're at. And again, they're not always 100% accurate, but it's a tool, and it's a fun tool because it makes it fun, challenging. It gives you something to play around with and helps you set new goals, right?
Yeah. And Angie said, I keep an eye on mine to see how high it goes during workouts. Me too, Angie. And I really love that because sometimes we feel like, oh, I'm working out so hard, and we are, but then we look down and if it's registering right and it's like at 90, we're like, all right, I could probably push a little bit more, right? Like it kind of keeps us in check and kind of keeps us honest. Or it can also make you mad when you like just finished with something like burpees, since we all love burpees. And we look down, it's like 72, and I'm like, lies. It is all lies. That is not right, because it takes a minute to register. But
Or
yeah.
like the calories after a workout. Like my one client uses it, and like she'll get done with, like, I'll see she's killing it, and it'll say like 200 calories burned, and then it gives some recovery time. And then she'll come and do not as hard of a cardio workout or whatever, and then it'll say like 600 calories. I'm like, that's a bunch of, so some of it isn't as accurate.
But see, it all depends on your heart rate too. And that's a really good point, because it can be frustrating and it can be tempting to do something that burns more calories than something that doesn't show that it burns as many calories. But ladies,
Right.
this is another talk for another day. But
Yes.
what you burn during your workout is not nearly as important as what you burn after your workout. Because when you do certain workouts, when you do strength training workouts, it may say, hey, you only burn 200 calories, but yet you spent an hour on the treadmill and you burned 500 calories. You're going to want to do the treadmill, right? Well, no, because when you do it in strength train, your calorie burn might not be as much during it, but afterwards you're burning hundreds of calories after you're done. So another talk for another
That's
day.
what our workouts, like if you guys aren't a member of our FTS, like that's what our workouts are aimed to do. So
Yes,
we keep that heart rate up a little bit while you're lifting. So you're getting the best of both worlds. So the workouts that we do on the on demand series, any one of those, pull them out and you can do them, because that's what's going to get your metabolism going for a couple days afterwards.
absolutely. And motivation and accountability is huge with everything that we do. We have all learned through this group in Focus Transformation, through our coaching programs or FTS. All of those really base around accountability, support, like that motivation factor, right? Using these fitness trackers, they offer you that extra accountability and motivation too. And that's one thing that I love about them, because I like that aspect. And seeing your results, seeing your feedback, seeing your data can be motivating, right? Like you can see, oh my gosh, I only need 200 more steps and I'm at 10,000. We're going to sit in our living rooms running in place, right? Like it gives you that motivation. And then as far as accountability, it's fun because in our coaching programs and in our individual coaching, we use our fitness app and our watches all connect to it. And we can see everything that you do. We can see all of your data. So it's really cool too in that way. But the motivation that comes from these watches for yourself and for those around you is really cool. You get lots of data that you can look at and track, and you can look back over years. You can look back 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years. And that's
And
really
watch how
cool to
your
see.
fitness improves. You can see how your fitness improves too over time.
Yes, because you get to see, hey, my resting heart rate used to be 72. Now my resting heart rate is 50. That's a huge improvement. And that shows that your fitness and health levels have improved, right? So you can analyze that and be like, all right, I didn't feel like I was making much progress, but I really am. And then kind of coming back, circling back to the integrations. Many of these fitness devices, watches, trackers, whatever it is, they integrate with your smartphones or with our fitness app, with different aspects, and it makes it fun, right? You have group aspects, communities. In Fitbit, you can make used to be able to have challenges. Now you can't have challenges anymore, but they have like the challenge group. So I created a focus transformation group. So anybody who has a Fitbit, we can all see each other's data, and it's like a camaraderie kind of challenge. So if you guys want to do that, look in the focus transformation, groups there or whatever, and then we can share in this group who's winning, what's going on, what's happening. And it's just fun. You build communities, you have a lot of engagement. You can connect all of these apps together. But then, like Leslie said, the health monitoring, there's so many cool things with that now too. Blood tracking levels, or blood oxygen levels, stress levels, menstrual cycles. And some even track things like when you fall, right? Which is really great if you've got family members who are elderly or who might be fall risks. It will tell you if your family member falls, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So overall, wearing the devices, they can really motivate you. They can help you set tangible goals. I want to see 10,000 steps. I want to burn this many calories, whatever. And it's powerful tools. So let's go on to benefits.
So we just kind of want to we took a couple of the top ones or ones that people are common with. And now that we know the benefits, we just want to give you some idea. Like people are like, where do I start? Which is the best? What ones do I like? What do you have? Whatever. So we're going to give you some suggestions and just some things that we saw. We're not promoting one better than the other, whatever. It's all up to you, your budget, whatever you have to do. We'll talk about the ones we have and kind of stuff. And then we will put a link in the comments of this group later today of these versions. If you wanted to go purchase one, click the link and you can be taken right to it. So one of the popular ones is Garmin. There's a Garmin Forerunner 945. So the pros of that, it has advanced GPS. So if you're out about, you can track where you are. GPS, people can find you. You can find where you're going. If you run endlessly, get lost and have to come back home. Multi-sport tracking capabilities. So it's really good for runners or cyclists or triathletes. This is a great one to have. It has a long battery life. It can last up to, this is a huge thing, is battery life, right? It can last up to 2 weeks in smartwatch mode, and up to 36 hours in their GPS mode. So that's good. Nobody tends to be running for 36 hours, at least not me. It has very good extensive performance metrics and training features. It's got a VO2 max
It estimates your VO2 max.
Well, I know estimation. I can't say the word. Could say the word. Like having a brain fog here. It gives your training load analysis. So how you're training, it'll explain that to you, and your recovery time prediction. That's how actually my one client has a Garmin, and that's what it was telling her, how many hours in recovery. Built-in music storage, compatibility with power streaming services, water resistant. So it's good if you're going to be swimming. So triathletes, they need to swim, run, and bike. So that is good. The bad thing about it, they are bulky. So they are a little bit bulkier. So if you have smaller wrists, I mean, I have big hands, you guys, but I do have I have little wrists and ankles. They're a higher price point because they have the GPS monitoring, all the bells and whistles are good. You're going to pay for bells and whistles than the basics. So think about what you really need. And then sleeper learning curve for beginners. So there's so many features and options that if you're not techie, this might be difficult for you. All right. So that's the Garmin. And then the second one I'm going to talk about is the Apple Watch. So that is what I have. And a lot of people have iPhones. And so they have Apple Watches. And the functionality they gave it was a 5 out of 5. It is a little pricey too. I think they're $299 now or $199. I don't know. I bought this for my son, so I probably got ripped off from a used one. I don't even know how much I paid him for it, but I'm sure I gave him more than it was worth. The thing I don't like about the battery life is not good on these. They don't last very long. So you have to keep putting back. There's a lot of good functions in it. The newer ones can do, mine doesn't, but the newer ones can do your EEG, so your heart monitoring, blood oxygen. You can have lots of different, the way it looks. You can change faces. I only do a couple things. It does steps. I could add people to this and challenge my son or challenge people on here. And then you can sit and take your heart rates and you can do a pause. They have a lot of relaxation and pause things in here to make you stop and rest. And the one that I really like too is like time to stand up. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay. Because when you start getting sitting for a long time, it's going to let you know and get you up. So it's a
And
premium option. Go
Apple
ahead.
Watches have the fall risk thing too. Like if you fall down, they'll alert your special people that you fell. So
Yeah, but it's really works really well with the iPhone. So like you can talk on this phone, you can get messages on this phone, alerts on this phone. So wherever I am, I can call people, I can talk to them on here and pretty clearly. And then like I can see my ring where I'm at and keep track of steps and stuff. So I have it because I have it. Would it be something I would probably purchase it just because it's and I've had Fitbits. Lisa's gonna talk about that. I've liked my Fitbit. I've actually had a cheaper one, just a band, it's called the band, some kind of band, and that was actually pretty good just for steps and very cheap. It's like $49. So there are cheaper versions. Lisa can go over some of those next, but because of the integration with my iPhone, it just works for me right now, and for what I use it for, it works. But the battery function is just maybe they're better now with the more higher series, but the one I have is horrible.
yeah, and guys, when it comes to trackers, again, it comes down to what functions you want, what's important to you, what your budget is. With all of these big brands, there's always multiple options. There's the high dollar option, then there's moderate, and then there's light options, right? So it just comes down to what you're interested in. And like Leslie said, I have the Fitbit Versa 2. Mine doesn't have as many bells and whistles as like the Versa 3. I saw a lot of you guys have Fitbits. A lot of you guys have like the Fitbit, someone has a Fitbit Versa 3 and Charge 4. Like there's all different kinds. And one thing that I love about the fitness, it's more, or the Fitbits, is that it's more fitness oriented, right? I don't need to be talking to people on my watch. So I didn't care about that feature with the Fitbit 3s and higher. You can like talk on it like an Apple Watch. So mine doesn't have as many bells and whistles where you can talk on the phone. You can see if someone's calling, but it does have great battery life. It's like 6 days of battery life, which Apple Watches are known to not have as much of a battery life because they have more functionality, but tracks your GPS. It gives you your pretty accurate mileage and GPS tracking and all of that kind of stuff. It's got the breathing relaxation work and things like that. So again, there's a lot of different types of Fitbits. There's the Fitbit Versa 3, which has a little bit more. They're all swim proof, which is another cool thing. So if you like to swim, they're all swim proof, but it gives you your intensity zones of your in zone or your out of zone as you're working out. So if you say, I am doing this type of workout, I want to stay in, in my heart rate zones, it'll tell you if you're in there or not. And then they all sync to your phones, whichever phones you have and all those apps and things. So that's a good option. And then there's even Amazon now has their own smartwatches. Okay. And these, I don't have one personally. If you do, you can let us know your feedback. But from reviews and information out there, they seem to work very well and they are a good option for affordable smartwatches. So they have a lot of the same functionality that other smartwatches have where you can, talk on the phone with them, like you can answer phone calls and that kind of thing. And they're budget friendly. So there's like I don't even know how to say it, Amazfit,
Yeah.
Amazfit BIP U Pro is one of them, but they have the SpO2 monitoring, sleep tracking, heart rate, all of those things, the different sport modes. And then there's different series, like some are higher. The GTS series is a little bit more, but their displays are all made so that it's really attractive. It's bright, it's easy to see, it can stay on all the time, or you can turn it off when you don't want it on.
I like
Customizable
that they
things.
have a T-Rex series, like just funny how their names. But yeah, but really, all these, it's so funny because they're all in competition with each other and they're all coming out with these things. And you're just thinking of the big names and the big what. Take a chance on a cheaper one, and you're going to get just whatever, like we said, whatever your need is. If you just want steps and some little basic stuff, don't go buy the bells and whistles because you're going to get frustrated all end trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah, if
Keep
you're
it
not techie.
simple. Yeah,
Technology's hard enough.
exactly.
But two, ladies, if you don't have a tracker and if you don't want to chalk up the money for a tracker, there's so many other options too. Your phone right here is a tracker. Okay. It can track your steps and things like that. You just got to keep it on you. So there are ways to get around getting a fitness tracker just to reap the benefits, because there really are a lot of benefits to having them. So you can get a simple pedometer, a simple tracker, but set some goals, have some fun tracking. And if you need some help with motivation, I talked to a lot of people this week about, I just don't feel motivated. How do you get motivated? We mentioned individual coaching earlier and how we use our fitness app for individual coaching and in our coaching programs. This is such an awesome option and an awesome way to get guidance and support and get results. And we do still have a few spots left. So we coach you on your individual needs, on your goals, on your lifestyle. It's not just here's a cookie cutter program, but we take the guesswork out of it. So if you're sick of not seeing progress or wondering where on earth to start, email us, comment below, or reach out to claim one of the last few spots. But
Or if you're
yeah,
already rocking it out with the workouts, join us for lives. We're adding more days now. So
yes.
Lisa's out right now and she comes back. We're going to be doing more morning workouts, more different times. So join us for a live workout, but you have the on-demand database in there, you guys. If you're ready to just be at home and get a good workout, and like we were just talking about getting your metabolism up and those types of workouts that are going to get you results, join FTS. Check
Yes.
out some of the workouts that we do and all the other stuff we got in there.
Yes, your tribe is everything, ladies. Your tribe, having coaches and community will take you farther than you realize that it will. So keeps you on
Yeah.
track, keeps you motivated. But go use your tracker, set some goals, and have some fun.
Sounds good. Hope you enjoyed the
Yeah.
information, and
Yeah.
we'll post some links for you down below. All right. Have a blessed weekend, everybody.
Have a good one.